Okay guys, what is up? I'm back with another video here today in my house. It's currently like 10 o'clock at night. I was bored trying to think of something to do, so I was like, hey, what can I make a video on? And then I thought about it. I haven't done my top 4 or 5 baits that I've caught some big fish on. So I'm just going to talk about some of them. So the first thing we're going to start off with is one that you guys will see me throw a lot on my channel. I love this lure. It's the best soft plastic to catch fish in general with. I think it's just one of them that it's hard to compete with. Alright, so first things first, we have a curly tail. This is Tequila Sunrise right here. Haven't really used these certain colors yet. I always usually throw a solid black curly tail, usually 7.5 inch, either made by Zoom or Culprits or whatever. So these are made by Zoom. These are actually called U-tails, but you know, curly tails. These are Tequila Sunrise. There's 20 worms in this package. I usually throw them on a weighted Texas rig. We usually like a 1/4 ounce weight, or anywhere from a 1/4 ounce weight down to anything lighter than that, depending on really where I'm fishing. But I've caught a lot of bass on this lure right here before, on these curly tails. I've caught a lot of fish on them. I've also caught a lot of fish that wouldn't bite other baits with curly tails. And let me just say this, guys, by far I recommend them. 10 out of 10. I love a curly tail. Then I got that out of the way. Curly tails are awesome. And another thing I want to say about curly tails real quick. When me and my dad went to the lake later on, before I started my channel and started getting back into YouTube, because if you guys didn't know, I used to have a YouTube and it used to be like 200 subs. Then I just quit doing it. It wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. It seemed like a lot of work back then. And now, to be honest, I like doing it. It's fun. I like going out filming videos, putting them on YouTube, see what you guys want to see, and maybe even with cameras rolling all the time, something crazy might happen that I wouldn't have caught on camera before, now that I'm always rolling the camera. But yeah, second bait I want to talk about, and you guys, you already know, a Senko. You can't beat a Senko. I don't care where you're at, what body of water you're fishing, what you're fishing for, you can't beat a Senko. A Senko can get you anywhere from a half-pound bass to 10 and 12s. I mean, a Senko is the most versatile soft plastic in the world. Any time of the year you can catch fish on these things. Any time of the year, it doesn't matter. These things really work. From the dead heat of summer to the coldest days of winter with snow on the ground and water froze over, they work. Now, these are just some black and blue with a blue tip on them. Senkos right here. They're made by Strike King. I use all sorts of different Senkos, some from Strike King, Gary Yamamoto's, Zoom, Yum, anything, just a Senko. Because, I mean, there's not much of a difference in them, except maybe, you know, the durability of them. But that's about it. And these right here, I really do like these Senkos because I've caught a lot of fish on Senkos, especially in the dead heat of summer when they wouldn't bite anything else, just taking that thing on a weighted Texas rig, throwing it out there, letting it sink, and just slowly dragging it across the bottom. And it's crazy. If you guys didn't see my last video, I think I named it like the worst day of fishing in history, I believe it was. Link will be in the description below. If you haven't already seen that, go check it out. And about that video, actually, that video did not come out right on YouTube. It was fine when I was editing it, but something when I uploaded it, it just is not doing right anymore. It's just being really weird, and like half the audio is gone in it, and everything is like really delayed. So that being said, that video is kind of messed up. But back to the Senkos. The Senkos, I've used, I don't know how many Senkos I could tell you I've been through in my life. I've used them anywhere from wacky rig to weightless Texas rig to throwing them on a drop shot to throwing them on weighted Texas rig. But like I said, like a 1/4 ounce to anything lower, depending on body of water I'm fishing. Now, like I said, Senko's are #1 stick bait in the world, I do believe, because they, like I said, they will get you fish anytime any other bait will not. I love these things, and you will see me throwing a Senko a lot. Next one I want to talk about, I currently don't have a pack with me, but they're speed crawls made by Zoom. I love a crawl, soft plastic, I just always have, especially fishing in the ponds around here like I have been. I don't really get to go to the lakes that much, but now I have. Since I got a boat now, I can really go out more than what I used to. I still can't go out as much as I want to because I don't have a license, and everyone's not into it like I am, so they can go out there. If we're catching something, it's fine, but if not, then they get a little moody and stuff, you know what I mean. We've all been there, we've all had that guy. Yeah, but it's speed crawls. Speed crawls, I throw it weightless, and they're so versatile, man. I've been where I just reel them weightless, Texas rigged on top of the water, just coming across the top of the water with the claws kicking, just like a little frog or something, like a horny toad, and man, they'll explode on it. I've caught them like that. I've caught them just weightless, just throwing it out there, letting it sink, and then just barely popping it a few times, or just slowly dragging it and then letting it sink again. I actually caught a 4.5 pounder at Gaston back before I started this YouTube, doing that same thing off of a dock. So yeah, speed crawl, I love a speed crawl. My favorite color in a speed crawl is usually green pumpkin or watermelon seed. They're usually my two go-tos, and I do want to look into some other things online, some different colors to get. I've heard a lot of people talk about tilapia magic and, you know, like a black and blue and stuff like that. So I do want to look online at Tackle Warehouse, or either just like Bass Pro, you know, any fishing place, you know, and look at them for different colors of speed crawls, because the only speed crawls you're really going to find in store are usually green pumpkin and pumpkin seed. So that being said, now that I got that out of the way, I want to talk about a Senko again. But these Senkos are only 4-inch long. These are actually Yum Dingers. These are from Yum. They're 4-inch long. I love a shorter Senko just because of the fact that sometimes they don't want that big profile. They don't want that longer Senko. Like, they don't want that 6-inch Senko when they can have, you know, like a 4-inch Senko, you know. Sometimes it all depends on what the fish want. Sometimes they want different things, sometimes they don't. But a lot of times, if I throw this at them, which is the longest Senko, these are 6 inches. If I throw this 6-inch Senko and they don't bite it, then I know I can go back and I can throw this, and you know, they'll eat this little 4-inch Senko right here. These baits, like I said, they're versatile. You can throw them weighted, you can throw them weightless, you can throw them wacky rig, drop shot, anything. Most of the time when I throw them on a drop shot, I either take these bigger ones, bite them down, or either take these or some little bit smaller ones and put them on their hole just like that. And they work really well too, especially when the fish aren't eating a narrow profile, they're eating a more bulkier profile. Yeah guys, so that's also another great bait I wanted to talk about today. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about a jig. Now, this jig is a Lucky Strike football jig. It is a 1/4 ounce. To be honest, I've never used this brand of jig. I've always used, you know, Strike King jigs, Bass Pro jigs, stuff like that. Not a huge jig fisherman. I just haven't really thrown a jig much in my life. I have thrown them enough to know that they will catch fish, and it's nothing like a jig bite. I can tell you that now. You get on them with the jig, it is fun. Once you feel that feeling, that thump of a jig, you'll never forget it. And that's just one thing about these things. I love jig fishing, even though I don't do it often. The only time I really do it is when I'm out just trying to see if I can get one to eat it, or when it's really cold. Like last year when it was snow on the ground, I went out and my dad was like, "You were crazy." I had so much clothes on. I looked like I weighed 200 pounds just because of all the clothes I had on. Snow was still on the ground, It was the day after the snow. There was a little bit of ice on the water, and I took a jig and managed to catch probably 20 fish that day, and some decent ones too. A jig, like I said, they're usually worked on the bottom. I can use a jig. I use all sorts of jigs different ways. I throw a football jig, drag it across the bottom, hop it. I swim it. I can do whatever I want to with this jig. And I've caught a lot of bass on jigs, even though I don't fish them that much. But usually I'm either throwing a black and blue jig, a black and red jig, or this color jig, which I don't know the exact color, but I'm guessing it's like a green pumpkin or something like that. Yeah, green pumpkin. And it's got a little bit of purple in it and some black. But yeah, I usually pair that up with a little crawl trailer, either speed crawl on the back of it or some other crawl type bait that I usually throw in here, unless I'm going to be swimming it. If I know I'm going to be swimming it, I either, depending on what their main food source is in that body of water, I either throw a paddle tail on it or crawl. So, okay guys, so some reason my video just stopped, like my GoPro just turned off, and that's why I'm filming this video on. But basically that was all I wanted to talk about. That was my top 4 baits that I want to talk about right now that I've been using. But my most favorite top 5 baits will be coming out soon. Those are going to be the baits that I throw on the daily. There's going to be the ones that I have my most confidence in. And yeah guys, so let me know what you think about this new background that I got going on, and be sure to check me out on Instagram, like I said, and be sure to check my buddy out on Instagram. Like I said, the GoPro stopped recording, but I did say he gave me a lot of those baits in this video today for my birthday, so shout out to you, buddy. Thank you so much. And yeah, so let me know what you guys want to see for the next video, and let me know what you guys might want me to talk about, or what you might want me to you know, maybe do a video on, like any kind of products, any kind of different lures, anything. You guys let me know. So be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video on Flipping Jigs TV.